Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Love of Business on prconnectionsradio.com, the voice of new media. I'm Miko Faith, and it is my pleasure to introduce Marilyn from Vegas Trike Adventures to you today.
Hey, good
Welcome, Marilyn.
morning. Good
Hey.
morning.
So I had the privilege of getting to meet you and go on a tour with you. But for our audience, do you want to tell us all a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, Vegas Trike Adventures is a tour company here in Vegas. We've been around for about 6 years, and we like to give people an ability to see the sites, some of the sites of Vegas in a whole different way. And our trikes are very unique. They're beautiful. They're Morocco trikes from Germany that are very uncommon in the United States, and also our automatic slingshot. So when you do a trip and you go somewhere where in the fresh air and outside the constraint of the vehicle, it's a whole different experience. And so that's what we love to share with people because it's so much fun. And the trikes are three wheels. So basically we've taken all the hassle out of triking. You don't have to worry about balancing, you don't have to worry about gear shifting because they're automatic. So you get to enjoy, you don't have to have a motorcycle license, so you get to do all the enjoyment part without all the hassle parts of it.
Yeah, it was really easy, and the training was really
Mhm.
easy too.
Mhm.
And it's wonderful, the open air, and it's just a totally different experience.
Mhm.
So what are some of the tours that you do?
Well, at the moment, we offer three different tours. We have a night uh, uh, Las Vegas Strip tour that goes down the Las Vegas Strip plus the Fremont Street, old downtown Vegas, that whole area. And then we also have Red Rock Canyon, which is one of the most beautiful places that you'll ever go to. And we do a drive through there. We make some stops for some picture taking, but just the drive is so breathtaking. It really is amazing. And then we also do Hoover Dam. Hoover Dam is one of the most popular sites in the world, and so people get to ride there, and it's such a beautiful experience, Hoover Dam, when you see all of Lake Mead in front of you, and it's breathtaking, and on a trike or a slingshot, even more so than just in a vehicle.
Yeah, I can't wait to experience more of that for sure. You said you do custom tours as well, and you've taken some families.
Yeah. We also
Mhm.
can do custom tours if there's a group. We've done, family reunions and, you know, um, bachelorettes, bachelors that come down for, a lot of guys love to go on this thing without having to have a motorcycle license. They love these trikes, because they're big and they're beautiful, but they're
Mhm.
easy. Anybody can ride them. We've had people from up to 92. So far, that's our highest number age.
Oh,
But
wow.
to go on a trike. So if you can drive a car, you can drive these. They're that simple.
Mhm.
Everyone after a few minutes, 10, 15 minutes, they're they're able to drive them, and we make sure that they are comfortable, of course, before we take off. But it's never been an issue. So we do custom tours for people, for groups that want to go somewhere else and do something different. And so yeah, we're open. We're pretty open to different things. We just want people to experience them and be able to give them that ability, in the surrounding areas. There's lots of beautiful places that we're not actually touring right now.
Right, and during this, with all the health crises going on, having outdoor activities is probably a really good thing for people to consider.
Yeah, that's been huge. I know. I remember last winter. A lot of the people were just like, they just wanted to get out. Let's just put it
Mhm.
that way. And
Mhm.
even though it was in the winter season, we were really busy, especially last year, where normally Januaries are a little slower. Last year it was so busy, but people were just like, want to get out. So it's a great
Mhm.
activity to do, and that is safe even for people that are very conscious of the health and everything that's going on. But it's a safe thing to do, open air, lots of distancing, because obviously everyone's on their own trike or slingshot. So it's the perfect thing if you're concerned about any kind of issue. Some people don't want to be in a vehicle, in a bus or in a van with a bunch of other people right now, and and I respect that. And but this, you can enjoy it, and you don't have none of those worries.
Yeah, that's great. So, since our show is called The Love of Business, tell us a little how you got started and what you love about your business.
Well, we have another tour company, and so we've been in the touring business for about going on 17 years. But when it comes to Vegas Trikes, how it happened, it was really my husband came home one day and he rented a trike. And we had always talked about it. He always wanted to get a motorcycle, but he has some limitations with his vision. And even though he has a driver's license, he's never had an accident, but being outside in a motorcycle to me was just different, especially because his peripheral vision, it wasn't that great. So I never wanted him to get a motorcycle. So, and I cannot balance on two wheels to save my life. So we had gone on vacation, rented scooters, and it took me like an hour just to get out of the parking lot. So I was like, that's not working for me. So he brought the trike, and I was like, wow. The first thing I noticed is I felt safe because the three wheels, I knew that there was going to be no balancing involved, And then it was automatic, so there was no, like for motorcycles, you have to shift and all that. There was none of that. And the other thing was they were just easy to drive. They were just easy. I felt comfortable. So as we went out, it was just like, wow, this is so different. We went to places that we've been to a million times actually around Vegas. But it was different. It was the same, but it was different for me. And I was like, oh my gosh, we are loving this. So then it just came to me. I was like, I bet, my husband and I bet that a lot of other people would love to experience the freedom and, the safe feeling and the being outdoors without all the hassles. And so that's kind of where this seed was planted, that if we loved it and we enjoyed it, then other people would too.
Yes, for sure. And so then you started your Vegas Trike adventures, and
sorry,
it's been successful.
Yeah, it's been we didn't start with the trikes we have now. We had other trikes that were not that were made that were a different quality. Let's put it that way. I'm so sorry, but there was a different quality. And so it was a real learning curve when we first started. And then eventually we learned more about trikes. And when we came across the Ravaco trike, we were like, oh my gosh, this is like the Rolls Royce of trikes. They're very popular in Europe, and they're German made and they're gorgeous. And so that was like the dream. And then in 2019, we were able to purchase some of them and then take away the fleet of the other ones. We sold those off, and then just like concentrating on the Ravaco, and everyone loves them. And so that's kind of how we came into being, and just loving because people love it, because people are happy and they're excited, and and it's a new experience for them. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are like, oh, I wish I would have been a motorcycle, or the slingshots, they look like a big old Batmobile or something. And they're like, this is an experience that I would have liked to have, but I never thought I would. So I love seeing people love it. I love seeing people enjoy themselves. I love that we're giving people something that when they come on vacation, they really get to create a memory, because it's more than just a today experience. It's a memory that you can, that you cherish, that you keep on. They take pictures, they share it with their family and friends. So it's that that we love the most, having people do that, because we know that, at least I know, I love to travel. And when I go on vacation, every day, every experience, everything I choose to do is precious, right? Because you work hard to be able to go on that trip, right? So that's my philosophy on our tours, that that's a precious time moment in someone's life, that I don't know how hard they work, what it took for them to get here. You know what I mean? And so we love that. They love it. They have fun. They have wonderful experience. And yeah, that makes it fun.
That's great. I bet if more people knew about it, it would go on more bucket lists. But it seems like
Exactly.
a bucket list
Exactly.
experience for sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
awesome. And you were talking a little bit about showing another side of Vegas, which I know, people all over the world know about Vegas, and it's, number one playground.
Hmm.
But it's definitely more than just the strip. Do you want to talk a little bit about the other side of Vegas?
Absolutely. I always say that to have a true Vegas experience, you have to get off the strip. Now, mind you, the strip is amazing. There's no other place in the world like it. I think in the deep jungle somewhere, people know about Vegas. You know what I mean? Because it's just an amazing place. It really is. But I will add that that's not all that Vegas has to offer. We are in the middle of the Mojave Desert, which is a very diverse desert, and we have so much beauty around us that if people just stay on the strip, I say enjoy the strip, but if you just stay on the strip, you're not going to get a full Vegas experience. For that, you need to get off the strip. You need to also go to our surrounding areas. We have, like I said, Red Rock, but we have places like the Valley of Fire, which is Nevada's first state park. Mount Charleston. A lot of people don't realize, and this is what's so exciting, right? You could be in the middle of the strip, and really within an hour or
Mhm.
so, you could be snow skiing on Mount Charleston, or you could be water skiing on Lake Mead. And people
Mhm.
don't realize that Vegas has everything. We have everything. You can enjoy the snow and not shovel it, and you can go, on Lake Mead and go swimming and go boating and do whatever. So that's the diversity that we have right here in Vegas, and most people don't know about or don't realize. And it's great when you get to share and you get to people experience it, because we hear it all the time, like, wow, I didn't even think that this was Vegas, that there was these kind of things in Vegas, because all they know is the strip, and
Right.
so go enjoy the strip, but that's what gets up here. But come enjoy all of Vegas.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. If you're watching this, and if people going to Vegas, spread the word, because there's definitely more to Vegas than the Strip. And not that the Strip isn't amazing, the quality of the
Definitely.
shows and the entertainment, and
And the food.
the food, definitely the food. There's so much, but there's definitely cultures beyond the Strip out here for enjoyment. So that's great.
Mhm.
So did you always dream of having a business when you grew up? Did you know when you were a little girl what you were going to do?
Well, no, really. I grew up in New York City, was going to college, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So no, I, got married, had kids, had jobs, just like that. But looking back, especially after I got married, and I've been married a long time, we always kind of started to have something on the side. So there was that entrepreneurial part of, me, that I think my husband helped awaken. And my mom was always, looking back, my mom was always selling something. She always had a little side hustle going on, and she was always selling things. And so, but when I got married was when and I got married very young, was when we started doing like little things on the side that eventually, became businesses. And We were street vendors in New York City, like everywhere from Harlem to Wall Street. I mean, we it was crazy all the things that we did back in the days. I mean, it's different now, obviously, but yeah.
Mhm.
And so we had all kinds of experiences, and we sold all kinds of things. Actually, it's just a funny story, but we sold enough comforters. Okay, in New York, like there was this area and on 14th Street, and people would go there, like everybody the last day before Christmas, rushing to get their gifts, and they came. And I remember the one year that we decided to sell comforters, and we put out all these comforters on the street, and I'm telling you, within like 4 hours, we had made enough money for the down payment on our next house, on our first
Oh,
house,
wow.
actually, when we moved to California, and it was so crazy. I mean, just crazy stuff like that. We sold clocks and statues, and my husband could pack a van. He could put a million things in a van. I've never met anyone who could pack a van like he did. So we did all kinds. We sold toys. We did all kinds of things. One of the funniest stories is uh, the, there was this puppet that had come out, and it was called Freddie, and you would just put your hand in it, and every time you squeeze it, a tongue would come out. So people loved this Freddie puppet. And I remember being on Fifth Avenue, right around Rockefeller Center, and we sold a gazillion Freddies just
Oh,
standing on the
wow.
street.
And so you just thought this is funny, people would love it, and then you went and gave it a
Yeah,
shot?
$5, $5, Freddie, $5. And it was just hilarious when I think back at it now. But yeah, we've done all kinds of crazy things to get here.
So you've had the love of business going on for a long time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we knew for us, okay, I respect everyone, but for us,
Mhm.
we knew the path to what we wanted wasn't in just a regular job, because I don't like to have time constraints put on me. Like it's like if I want to go away for the weekend, it's like what? I can't. I gotta ask permission. Like what? So that's just me. So it was
Right.
like okay, I gotta make where I control my time. Let me just put it better that way,
Mhm.
where I can control my time better. Yeah.
Yeah,
But it
yeah, I
wasn't
relate to
always. I
that,
mean,
yeah.
I worked a job. I worked for the post office for like 13 years. When you have young
Mhm.
kids, you got to do what you got to do. So, but
Mhm.
eventually the dream came true for us to be able to do that, even though it's a lot of hard work, but yes, to
So
me, worth it.
so speaking of hard work, how does your day or your week flow with the Vegas Trike adventures?
Well, basically, we do have an office receptionist who handles most of the calls, and most of it is done online. And I just kind of make sure of the day to day operations, that things are going smoothly. I take care of all the administrative. There's a lot of licensing involved. There's just a lot of other things involved in doing this. And so I do that. I do go on tours every so often, not as often as probably I could, or my husband. But then when I do go, I'm like, why am I not doing this more often? Why am I not out here actually and get out of the office and enjoying this and enjoying the people? Because we meet people from all over the world,
Mhm.
when we're on tour. So even on the phone, but when we go on tour, so that's always fun. People from different countries and different states and different cities, different stories. That's always like fun too. So yeah, I don't do the glamour stuff. I tell my husband, I tell him that he gets and the tour guides get to do more of the fun part, But yeah, but it's all good. It'll has everything works together. I mean, it's a partnership, my husband and I, and
Mhm.
someone has to be out there doing the physical tours, and someone has to make sure that everything is running, the way it should. So that's more my end of it. But I do get to go out, and I one of my goals this year is to go up more, because every time I go out, like I said, I was like, oh, man, this is fun.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Here's to more tours in 2022 for you.
Thank you.
So what do you have as far as tips for people who are starting business or, maybe are even in business, as far as your take on how to maintain your love of business?
I think that you got to really find something that you really love, because it's a lot of hard work to run a business. It's just hard work. It takes a lot. It's not glamorous, the behind the scenes and dealing with insurances and dealing with licensing and all that other stuff is not fun. But if you really love what you're doing, and I think for me also, if you have, you see, I feel if you come from the perspective that you want to serve people, that your business is meant to serve other people, in whatever capacity that is. And if you look at it more like that, yes, it's, of course, it's a business. You got to make a profit, of course. But I think if you concentrate more on trying to take care of the people and give them a good experience, and if you just kind of focus more on your people, everything else will come from that, because you'll get good reviews, you'll get repeat business and stuff. But you gotta like, actually love what you do, or at least if you're starting off, sometimes it could be the step to the next step, to the main goal. Maybe this isn't all it, but this isn't necessary for whether it's for me to get experience or for me to learn, you know um, uh, other facets of what would make my ultimate business successful. So sometimes it's steps. When I was selling Freddy's on Fifth Avenue, that was not the business that I wanted to be in for the rest of my life, obviously.
Right.
But eventually, all of that what was a step, to each to where we are today. And today is a step to where we're going to be tomorrow.
Right. That's so important and profound, really. Yeah. Wow. What an adventure it was. And you take such good care of your people. Like you were saying, you really do focus on the experience. And I saw how you made little adjustments over time, based on people's experiences, the bandanas,
Well,
you know.
I mean, that's a good point, if I may, is that
Mhm.
especially now with the COVID and everything, we try to, follow as many uh, ways of being safe, like our helmets. Of course, they're used over and over, but they're sanitized. That's why we make sure that people have to buy a brand new, get a new bandana to put under their helmets, just as another layer of protection. Um, a lot of times, one of the things that's interesting to me is a lot of people come to Vegas and either they think that it's always hot here, because yes, we have hot summers, no doubt about it, but they
Mhm.
think for some reason a lot of people think it's that way all year round. And so what we were finding in the winter was people came totally unprepared for the
Mm.
weather, and especially if you're riding outdoors. Obviously, it's colder basically when you're riding, and they were not prepared. So it first started with me bringing my own jackets, because I just really felt bad for these people that were going to freeze, they were going to freeze.
Mhm.
So I started and bringing my own jackets and lending them out, and they were so grateful, and so then we realized people needed them come. Not everyone came with gloves or a scarf or things that would really make their experience more comfortable. It wasn't about trying to sell something, because everything is like dirt cheap, but it wasn't that. And so people really started appreciating that. And it was just because we saw a need for the people, because they came unprepared, even though our website does say, make sure you're dressed appropriate for weather and things. But a lot of people don't, you're on vacation, like, hey, we're going to Vegas, and I don't
Mhm.
think of bringing a jacket or whatever, So just little things like and now we have where people are able to rent things if they need them.
Mhm.
They don't. We always tell them, bring your own, but
Mhm.
many people don't. So they really appreciate that we have that available for them, because sometimes they'll say, no, I'm good, but we'll put a few in our car. And believe me,
Mhm.
halfway through, they're like, "Oh, by the way, do you still have that jacket, or do you still have gloves?"
Yeah,
And we're
yeah.
like, "Yes." It's
Yep. I was glad I had my jacket. Oh no, it looks like you froze.
yeah, happened, but anyway,
Oh, there you are.
me, I could. You back?
Oh, I'm back. Are you back?
Yeah. You froze for a little bit too. Did I too?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Welcome back. I'm glad we're
Thank
back.
you.
We're back just in time to thank you so much for your time and for sharing this amazing venture that you have going on in Vegas.
Thank you.
Can you let everyone know where they can find you, the website, or
Oh, absolutely. We are at Vegas Trike, Trike, adventures.com. And that's where we are. You can get all the information about our tours. Vegas Trike Adventures.com.
That sounds easy enough. Well, thank you so much, Marilyn, again for your time and your insights and sharing your wonderful experience with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Oh, it was a pleasure for sure. And thank you so much, everyone, for watching The Love of Business on prconnectionsradio.com, the voice of new media. Do stay tuned for more shows in the future.